guys, Andy here. This has to be now, with the cancellation of the Note 7, this has to be the big launch of the year. Google's Pixel phone. Now, you may have watched my sort of commentary or summary of their announcements from almost 3 weeks back, and my main reaction about the Pixel phone was, oh, that price, really? I just felt like I know they're trying to compete with Apple, and I'm sure the build quality is fantastic, and, well, we're going to find out, obviously, but it's a bit of a stinger to us tech people, I suppose. Now, to everyday phone folks, maybe that's fine. You know, they pay that much for an Apple device. In theory, why would they not pay that much for a Google device? Now, Google doesn't necessarily have the track record at this point, but I guess that's what they're hoping to build from this point going forward. You could say it's under-featured. So, mind you, I'm hearing actually it's pretty waterproof. I know that's one of the big knocks is it's not even waterproof. I'm going to leave my knife. But then I also was hearing actually, so I think some guys dunked his in a cup of water for a fair while and it's been fine. It doesn't have wireless charging because of the metal body. But I'm really looking forward to the video stabilization. The video stabilization looks immense. It really does. It looks almost better than a gimbal. So here she is. I've intentionally not held one to this point. Let's go ahead and unwrap it. That does feel very nice. Feels like a decent weight, but not heavy. I know the sort of glass back portion has drawn a lot of comment, but actually the more I've looked at these phones, I think the more I've grown to like the design. Also, the chin has grown a lot of comment. I don't think actually, that really isn't that big, is it? I'm sure, well, I don't know, maybe you guys disagree. To me, that's not a problem. It would almost be weird to me if the screen came down that much lower. So I've no problem with that. We've got the power button on the sides, textured, and the volume rocker feels good, feels like a quality volume rocker. We've got the fingerprint sensor on the back, which kind of doubles as a touchpad in the phone operation. We've got the camera, which I believe is a 13 megapixel. I really should have brought the specs up on the screen before I started talking about it, shouldn't I? So let's go ahead and look through the rest of the box. And then we'll come back to talk more about the phone in a second. Let's go! Get started. So there's my SIM ejection tool. Get started. Meet your personal assistant. Morning. Okay. All right. Thanks. What's anything I'm getting free? No. Keep safe. Safety and warranty. Fine. I've already got Google Music. No use to me. It is a little disappointing that we didn't get kind of the free Daydream headset. I've pre-ordered one anyway. I don't think I'm going to need to... I don't know whether to try. I set phones up fresh. I prefer to start them fresh. I almost feel like I should try using the cable. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. So there's an adapter that you plug into the bottom of the Pixel and plug it into your current phone. It should take things over from one to the other. Now, obviously, we're USB Type-C at this point, which I'm fine with. I'm very happy with. So I think there's the adapter. I'd be interested to know if you can use that for then plugging kind of memory sticks in. I will try that at some point, definitely. Let's leave that safe. Oh, I've already messed it up. Let's not worry about it. Is there anything in this bit, or is that... Oh, no, here we go. Yeah, of course there is. There's the actual charger. Oh, no, is that another? Oh, so that's C to C. So that's the C to A. And that's a C to C with little blue grabby bits. And there's the actual... Feels very nice. Kind of a soft touch. Oh. And a protective there. So for those of you that don't know, the Pixel comes in two different sizes. This is the XL 5.5-inch screen, and it also comes in a smaller 5-inch, just called the Pixel. It then comes with two different memory sizes, onboard storage, 32 gig or 128 gig. I've got to say that kind of annoys me a little bit because for me the perfect size is 64 gig. 32 I'd probably be okay with, especially with the unlimited storage of photo at full size. But at the same time, I would hate to 3 or 4 months down the road run out of space and just be kicking myself that I didn't just go ahead and buy the bigger version. Having said that, they do charge quite a premium for the kind of upgrades. I forget which way around it is now. So I think one of them is £120, one of them is £100. So basically the XL with the larger size is £220 more expensive than the smaller 32 gig version. It comes in the UK in the sort of black or silver. As you can see, I've opted for the black. The actual specs of the device, I'll run through a few of them that I read off of GSM Arena. 168 grams in weight, fairly normal. Nano SIM. The resolution of the screen is 2560 by 1440, so it's around 534 pixels per inch. It's got Corning Gorilla Glass 4. It's going to run obviously Android Nougat 7.1. It's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 821 chipset. The CPU is quad core, 2x2 15 GHz Cryo and 2x1.6 GHz Cryo, and an Adreno 530 GPU. So we kind of start to look around the outside. The cameras, let's check exactly. So it is a 12.3 megapixel f2.0 camera on the back and an 8 megapixel f2.4 on the front. So there are devices out there with a lot better of the f-stop, but the camera, as you probably are aware if you're watching this video, did score incredibly high on independent testing, higher than any other smartphone has done before. So I'm looking forward to giving that a whirl. Again, that does actually feel very, feels good quality. It's a good solid click when you're pressing it. I like the voice. I don't know if you can hear that. Good solid buttons. It seems to be resisting fingerprints at the minute as we boot up. Antenna lines, I assume, around the side there. I mean, that's one theory of this glass element, is it's for the antenna. So, oh yeah, the other thing is they mentioned it in earlier on. It's a slightly wedged shape device. So it's thinner at the bottom, I believe, than it is at the top. And that's how they've got around the camera bump. So rather than having it that thick all the way, it's tapered. And I do like a device that will sit flat on a desk that you can kind of type on without it wobbling about. And this certainly seems to be fine for that. I suppose it might take a little while to boot up, so what we'll do, I'll come back to you once it's booted up and I'm logged in to my account and to my Wi-Fi. I just briefly stopped to show you. This would be, I guess, where copy your data from an iPhone. I think that's quite important in many ways. So you can jump ship basically and use the cables to transfer the data. I'm going to start as new though, and like I say, I'll get all this set up and then come back to you. So I've actually rebooted. I'm logged in. I've rebooted. I've put my SIM card in. Let's just try that. I've done my fingerprint. Seems pretty quick. I mean, not like blazing fast, but see if I can show you. Quick enough. I don't have many apps in my store, so there's a few changes. This is the Pixel launcher. We should have, I'll tell you what we will do. It is downloading or updating something. I'm not sure what at this point. Okay, that's fine. Just the standard stock things. What I will do, I don't actually read what that said. Come on. We'll install Geekbench real quick. Or leave it installing in the background at least. So at the minute I've just got Google Now on the left. I've got my app drawer that slides up from the bottom.
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant. I can help you find what you need and get things done. If you need help, just ask, what can you do? So, how can I help?
Will it rain tomorrow?
No, rain is not expected tomorrow in Barnet. The forecast is 13 degrees and partly cloudy.
How about in Twickenham?
No, rain is not expected tomorrow in Twickenham. The forecast is 14 degrees and partly cloudy.
Always use Celsius.
Okay, I'll remember that you prefer Celsius.
Always use miles.
Here's the top search result.
Ah, interesting. So it doesn't know that one. But I did quite like, and this is one of their kind of big selling points really. So I've asked, will it rain tomorrow? And then I just said, how about in Twickenham? Now, try that with Siri. I don't know, because I'm not really, I'm not a Siri user. And I think it might say, what about Twickenham, sort of thing. Now, obviously Google Assistant knows that I'm talking about weather and gave me straight away the answer for the forecast in Twickenham for tomorrow. It even remembered it's weather tomorrow. I do like that. So you've got a conversation going rather than having to say a series of commands. You can get it to remember things like we saw there, but obviously not everything. How far is it to Glasgow?
You are 394 miles away from Glasgow, UK by car.
How long would that take if I walked?
Here's a result from the web.
Okay, so it's not perfect. It's still very early days. My understanding is it's the kind of thing that's supposed to learn over time and should get better and improve as more and more people use it. So I've been annoyed with Geekbench. I've been using them for years and years, Geekbench 3, and they've changed to Geekbench 4, and there's 2 different tests, and they don't really relate one to the other. I've still got a Geekbench 3 APK, but I'm not going. I've got to install Dropbox to download it, install it, and I'm not going to make you wait through that. But in fact, I'm not going to make you wait now. We'll come back when Geekbench has run its CPU test. Okay, now I'm not going to lie to you. That took a long time to run. A very long time to run. And again, I'm not that used to Geekbench 4, but I don't think that's a particularly massive score. Yeah, I mean, the Note 7 5.2, the S7 5.2, the OnePlus 3, same sort of score, S6 slightly below, Note 5 slightly below. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not an amazing score, but at the same time, we all know, well, for one thing, Samsung apparently cheats. They ramp everything up when it runs. But we also know that benchmarks aren't that important. It's more about how fluid the device is, and this certainly feels very fluid, very slick. Different notifications look. If we get to no, and even a different. There we go. Sort of very smooth. Right, we've got to try the camera. That's what I brought in. Can you see? That's pretty much instant, I would say. It always is so. Interesting. So it was still processing the HDR. Did you see that when I came in? The pictures themselves, it's hard to tell on just a quick snap like this. Obviously, I'll get outside and I'll be taking. Oh, interesting. I have a crash already. What else do you want to check? I want to check the speaker. I know a lot of people aren't bothered by the loudspeaker at all. They couldn't give 2 hoots. But to me, it's very important. I listen to podcasts. I often, when I'm on the phone, I just have it on the loudspeaker and try and find something that'll could do with like a music video, really. I did hear somebody saying that. Let's just have a look at this. That it was a very loud.
Last thing in the world I need right now is some stranger coming into town and starting trouble.
Well, it's the story of a guy who's trying to make it to Mexico. Seems like a good guy. Ways in which Travolta's character of the Marshal is kind of a decent guy.
That sounds pretty good to me. Let's try and find an actual music track, although I don't want to get taken down off YouTube, so. I think that sounds pretty good. I know a lot of people get hung up about the whole stereo speakers, stereo front-facing speakers, even more importantly. I'm really not that bothered, to be honest. It doesn't, as long as it's loud. I don't need it blasting directly towards me. I don't need it in stereo, really. It's a flaming phone. The image itself.
She said, don't you worry if I disappear. I told her I'm not really looking for another mistake. I called an teacher and never wants to sleep. I guess that I don't want to either. But me and her, we make money the same.
So I think the picture looks great, as you would expect with an AMOLED screen. I think the speaker sounds very good. Obviously, I'll do some proper testing of the sort of the volume by decibels and all that kind of thing that I do. So subscribe if you haven't already. I know I picked up one new subscriber today, the gentleman in Carphone Warehouse. I didn't get his name actually, I do apologise. Give us a comment down below, shout out to him. Nice chap, talking phones with him. And he subscribed to my channel. So I think really that's all for now. Very first impressions, it seems like a very nice device, feels very good, feels well made. The fingerprint sensor, because it's so subtle, sometimes I fear I might not find it properly, but as long as it lets me adjust when I get a part of it, and then, which it seems to. So there we go. That's the Pixel XL by Google. This one, the XL 128 gig, is £819. The most expensive phone I've ever bought. I never thought I'd be spending that much on a device. I hope I don't regret it. Early indications are that I shouldn't. It does seem a very nice device. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. There'll be lots more videos, video samples, video tests, video comparisons. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss those. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think I'm crazy spending this much on a phone, or are you tempted to get one yourself? With the recent recall of the Note 7, is this the device you're thinking of going for? So there you go. My name's Andy. I will catch you all again soon.